This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight from Chicago, the road trip comes to a close. What a trip it's been so far for the Cardinals, trying to sweep the Chicago White Sox. It's game number 2. Jim Hayes is with us. That's the Mad Hungarian Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. The Cardinals getting solid pitching, but really getting very good offense on this trip.
And you know, that's what has been very inconsistent all season long is the offense. And if the Cardinals are going to stay in the pennant race or they're going to make some noise, they're going to have the offense plugging away like it has here in July. The team is capable of doing it, and they have been showing it on this road trip. It must continue.
Luke Weaver gets the call tonight for the St. Louis Cardinals. He was terrific last time out in San Francisco. Colton Wong starting to get hot. He's back in the lineup. It's game number 2, and it's coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago White Sox. We wrap up the road trip tonight. The Cardinals looking for a 2-game sweep. Baseball is coming up. For baseball here in the Windy City of Chicago. Along with Al Raboski and Jim Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, home to the White Sox. It is 78 degrees. And the Cardinals trying to make it 6 wins in 9 games of this road trip. Mike Matheny's lineup with Matt Carpenter at the top, followed by Tommy Pham and then Jose Martinez, Marcell Ozuna, Yadier Molina, Jed Jerko, Paul DeYoung, Dexter Fowler, and batting ninth, Colton Wong. Jose Martinez serving as the designated hitter. Carlos Rodon, his 7th start of the year. He's been dealing with injuries. He's a former top pick. He gave up 2 runs, 6 innings against the Astros in his last start. Took a no decision and eventual 4-3 loss.
He was the #1 draft pick in 2014, but 3rd overall out of North Carolina State. Really very promising career, but he had the shoulder surgery last year, started on the DL, a big strikeout pitcher.
Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Polka, Tilson, and Garcia in the outfield. Sanchez, Anderson, Moncada, Abreu along the infield. Narvaez is behind the plate. As we saw last night, a lot of Cardinal fans made the trip from the Gateway City here to the Windy City. Matt Carpenter was 2 for 5 last night with a walk and a couple of runs scored. And the first pitch is hit high in the air out to deep left field. Polka backing up the edge of the track and makes the catch for the first out.
See if that is part of the game plan to jump on the first delivery. Good to see Tommy Pham back in the lineup. Late scratch last night, still dealing with the soreness in the foot. Fouling a ball off it in San Francisco. Pretty much up to him, how much he can stand.
Cardinals scored 14 runs in game 1 of the series. Hadn't done that since July 3rd of last year. They're calling it an ankle contusion. That's tapped foul, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes. Cardinals with the win last night, now 47-43, still at the start of play today, 7 games back in the NL Central. Pham the check swing and did not go. Many of the players talking about it. They're ready to get back home to St. Louis. It's been a long trip.
Long trip, and I think today really decides whether it's how successful that trip is going to be. It's going to be a winning trip either way, but you have to believe you'd be hugely disappointed if you can't win this game. Our Toyota key to the game: hey, have a happy flight, and you only have that if you win this ball game. You've won all 3 games in this 4-game series against the White Sox, but the way they are, just 30 wins of the season, you have to win this one.
3-2 pitch. The strikeout in the inside corner of Tommy Pham.
Like a pretty good pitch. Tommy thought it might have been inside, but framed well for our home plate umpire, Paul Nowert. Mentioned that he was a big strikeout pitcher, Danny. At one point, 2016, he struck out 7 in a row, and then if you put it with the next season or next game, it was 11.
There are a few from that draft class of 2013 that are headed to the All-Star game, pitchers in both leagues.
I'll match up the first-round draft picks of 2014 here tonight.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Well, Jim Hayes reported it, and then it came to fruition. The activity of Jose Martinez in keeping himself in a game as a DH.
I talked to him today. You know, he had a big game. He had his 12th 3-hit game. He was on base 5 times with a couple walks. He said he started his career, professional career, with the White Sox, and he said, I wanted to show him.
And he did. His last 3 starts, he's reached base safely in 9 of his last 15 plate appearances. And that's what he does to keep himself loose. Ali Marmol has got the stopwatch out, and he's doing laps in the dugout. By the way, I'm very impressed with your key to the game. That was, I'm sure, something you thought long and hard about.
Oh, extremely.
Happy flight.
Happy flight. Let's go back to, that was 2011 mantra. It worked that year.
Rafael Furcal.
Yep. And Jose started his professional career with the White Sox, same team that his father starred with. He said, I didn't get him in St. Louis, but I got him last night.
Up the middle and a base hit. A 2-out hit for Jose Martinez.
I guess he was serious, huh?
His father played here in 88, 89, and 90 for the Chicago White Sox. Ball was scorched.
Yeah, it really hit hard right up the middle.
Talked about it during the open, but the Cardinals on this trip, first 8 games they have hit collectively an average of 300. They've outscored the opponent 54-33 in winning 5 of the 8 games.
A lot of extra base hits, you know, hitting well with runners in scoring position.
There's strike 1 on Marcell Ozuna.
How about last night's ball game? You talk about manufacturing runs. There was a pass ball, scored a run. A wild pitch, the next batter wild pitched a run, came home, and then a bases loaded walk to Jerko. 3 consecutive batters, 3 runs.
And 7 runs total in that inning, highlighted by the grand slam, and a total of 3 hits to get the 7 runs. And it's 2 strikes on Ozuna, who's down on the ground. Oh, no, not again. It's an epidemic right now going on with the Cardinals, with the baseballs going to spots you don't really want them to go to. I think you catch my drift, Al.
Yeah, I'm still wincing. Should we say not all outfielders wear cups?
Ouch.
It's a little bit too in-depth analysis for me to know whether he does or not. But
this is where normally you would say, go
Jim
ask
Hayes.
the cat. Well, at least he's smiling, and that's good. Tommy Pham had that similar type of foul ball on this road trip, and even Rodon is grimacing. 0-2 the count on Marcell Ozuna. And a swing and a miss, so 2 strikeouts in the inning. Cardinals strand a runner. Luke Weaver to the mound. When we come back, he was sensational last time out in San Francisco. Repeat effort for Luke, we're about to find out. Innings in his last start against the Giants. 16 outs into the game. He had a perfect game going, and he was as good as we've seen him this year. And a real key in that game, Al, fastball command, and strike one.
it really is. It sounds so simple, but if you can get ahead in the count, fastball is the most important pitch in the game. Everything comes off it, and Luke Weaver hopefully can add to that. There you see Rick Renteria, his 3rd season here, managing the White Sox. They're in a rebuild. They say in 2 years they'll be competitive. I'm not too sure.
Moncada, Sanchez, Abreu, Polka, Davidson, Garcia, Narvaez, Anderson, and Tilson. The lineup for Chicago. First pitch swinging. Popped up. Left side. Molina giving chase. And it drops in.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. Now to go after a ball. Jerko gives way to the Gold Glover and just missed it.
It's an error on Molina, his 3rd of the season. The other time I do remember that happening was in this city at Wrigley Field on a night that the Cardinals were going to clinch a division. They had a big lead, and it was a pop-up at the plate, and it dropped, and it's the only other time I can remember Yadier Molina having that issue. It even happens to the best of them. Good changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's, in my mind, that's his best by far secondary pitch. Is it a little odd to you that he's 5-7 and all 5 of his victories have come on the road?
Yes. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Moncada. He was part of the Chris Sale deal with the Boston Red Sox. The 2016 Minor League Player of the Year. Came up for 54 games a season ago for Chicago. The 2-2 pitch to the switch hitter. White Sox have dropped 6 in a row. They've been outscored by 30 runs in those 6 games. 3-2 pitch and a leadoff walk. Around the Horn presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Ozuna, Pham, and Fowler in the outfield. Jerko, DeYoung, Wong, and Carpenter on the infield. And Yadier Molina is behind the plate.
And we talked about that great start he had in San Francisco. He did not walk a man, and he only allowed the 2 hits, an infield base hit that kind of got away from Jerko, made a great effort at it, but clearly a base hit, and then a home run. But he was very, very special that night.
It's a club, and the White Sox, despite not having success in the win column, they love to run. They love to be aggressive if they can. Second in baseball with 70 steals. Sanchez at the plate. He's got speed. First in the American League with 9 triples. Moncada 9 steals at first base, and that's fouled back for strike 1.
Just because you say you're supposed to win a ball game, it doesn't come that easy, but you got to really challenge yourself to stay mentally alert and come out here and beat a club.
Little bit low. Paul Nart calling the balls and strikes. Scott Berry at first, Carlos Torres at second, and the crew chief is Kerwin Danley down at third. Outfield is straight away. One ball and 2 strikes. Cardinals did say today that in terms of their rotation after the off day, they're going to stick with Martinez, Flaherty, and Michaelis for the weekend series against Cincinnati. And that means that John Gant then is in your bullpen.
Sure, and a good option there. Could be a long man if you needed it, but it also means that Michaelis will represent the Cardinals at the All-Star game, but will not be able to pitch. Whoever starts on Sunday, not eligible for the All-Star game, so there'll be another replacement for him.
And the 1-2 pitch. Major League Baseball announcing that Gene Segura, the Mariners shortstop, and Jesus Aguilar are the final vote winners for the All-Star team. So no Matt Carpenter, at least for the moment, depending if something would happen with injury.
Still an honor to be even named to the final vote.
High chopper to Carpenter. Leads Weaver to the bag, and he's safe. Cardinals will take a long look at it. It'll be a base hit for Sanchez if it holds. It's Mike Schilt there, the bench coach, talking to the Cardinal video department.
Tough play for the pitcher. The only thing that Weaver could have done better is go right to the bag, and you can see he's racing there quite a bit. But when you're kind of just because of circumstances, you catch the ball and then you don't have time to get there and find the bag.
He's out.
If his toe got on there, he's out. And they are going to question it.
It's not an easy play for Carpenter or for Weaver.
Exactly right. It's one of those ones that's very difficult. And you saw him race right over there, so he really couldn't have got there much quicker. And then you act like a first baseman. Carpenter goes for it immediately. Now he's got to throw it to his pitcher. And Weaver's got to catch it and try and find the bag at the same time. He missed it initially, but looking at the big board here, Dan, it looked like he did get his toe onto the bag right ahead of his foot coming down on base.
Al, I'm telling you right now, he's out. Right now.
Danny, I have never disbelieved you, and so I'll use my whiteout.
Apply it right now, Al. Make sure it dries in time.
I want to watch it one more time, though.
Thanks a lot, Al.
He's out.
Out. As they play Let It Be by the Beatles. And Luke Weaver now just staying loose on the mound and delivering some pitches to the plate.
I would never not believe you.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little concerned with it's taking this much time. Watch you reach for it. He comes up short, but then he touches it right there. The story why Weaver wears number 7, it was his high school number, college number, and he also signifies that I'm a good athlete.
Single digit worn by a pitcher.
By a pitcher, not oftenly seen. Especially in St. Louis, where most of our single digits are up on the wall.
And some others will be there shortly.
It's taking way too much time.
I agree with you, and you know, for people that are curious about this, if they're looking at the play over and over and over again, that's probably not the case. The crew that's in New York with multiple games going on, there might be an instance of other games that they're watching right now that plays are under review, and that's why it can take longer than you would expect. But looking at it on the video, once they see it, he'll be called out. We'll have one out with a runner at second base.
How many crews, umpiring crews, do they have? Just one? That seems, if you're going to do it and you want to make it quick, you must have more than that.
Al?
Dan, I got the white out again. Now I have to correct what you told me to.
First time I've been wrong in a long time on these, if ever.
If ever. I was going to say if ever. Yeah.
It's a 3-minute delay. I don't understand that one.
Well, obviously they're saying not enough to overturn it, but that seemed like it was pretty hard. If the foot got there, you miss it the first time, then you reach out and you have to touch it.
The momentum of his foot was stopped by the bag.
Yeah, exactly. And the dirt kind of piled up underneath the shoe.
So an infield hit for Sanchez, and now Abreu, who's 2 for his last 27, but it's only a matter of time before he busts out. This guy's too good of a hitter. Voted into the All-Star game by the fans, and the first Chicago White Sox position player to be voted in since 1996. Frank Thomas was the last one. You could make the case for Luke Weaver that there should be nobody on and 2 outs.
Real simple.
Just pop up and the play at first base.
Play at first base. There's one more day to keep Abreu struggling, but he's going to come out of it.
And the 1-2 pitch by Weaver to Abreu. Hit out of play. He is 6th in the American League in doubles with 27. That puts him on pace for 48 this year. If he gets to 48, that would set the all-time record, or at least tie it. Albert Bell Did that with the Chicago White Sox. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Up and in. 2-2.
Talk about Abreu's a hitter that you're going to see 30+ home runs, 100 RBIs almost every year. Did that the first 4 years of his start of his career.
The 2-2 pitch. Foul again. The ability to put hitters away. We've seen it at times from Weaver so far in this inning. 6 foul balls hit. The 2-2 pitch. In the dirt, 3-2. 5th on that list is Jose Abreu with 14 grounded into double plays.
Part of that is hitting the ball hard. He's a 300 hitter. Most years. Surprised you that Weaver's leading the staff in strikeouts too?
It's overlooked for sure. That's yanked down the left field line, but foul. Home run distance, but pulled foul. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat and the 20th overall in the inning. 3-2 pitch to Abreu. We'll have a 10th pitch. You know, these types of at-bats, and Luke Weaver may get out of this inning. He may get Abreu, but they add up. The overall length of a start for Luke Weaver. 5 foul balls in this bat alone. Pitch number 10 coming up. Daniel Polk is at the on-deck circle. It's another 3-2 pitch. Weaver to Abreu. Here it comes.
Abreu was a .341 hitter in the Cuban League. Came to the White Sox in 14. So in the last 4 years, he's hit .301. 124 home runs in those 4 years and over 100 RBIs every season.
A 3-2 pitch again. Abreu to left, and this will be a double play. Caught by Ozuna out there. A double play. Moncada taking off from second base. No regard for the line drive hit into left field, and it turns into a double play.
And I was watching him come around third base. He had no idea. He thought that was a base hit and thought he was going to score. So you knew you were getting the easy double play. He just rounded third coming home. Ozuna catches the ball, throws it back to second, get the double play. Boy, that helps out. Watch the way he's run the base here. Took a quick glance, and then he's sitting there going, why are you stopping me?
Maybe that's why you're 30-61.
Right, there you are.
And Carpenter steps on the bag, and the threat is through. Cardinals get a gift thanks to Moncada. All-Star Yadier Molina missed 1 month due to an injury, not voted in by the fans, was overall among catchers 4th. But after Buster Posey said that he had a hip issue, Molina added to the National League roster. How about that inning for Luke Weaver? 21 pitches, no outs. The next 2 pitches, 3 outs.
I think he'll take them.
And Molina sends a high fly ball out to deep left field. Polka at the wall, and he's got it. Just missed. His 14th home run of the year.
You know, he's hit 7 home runs since he's come off the disabled list. His career high is 22, and I have to say he's going to better that this year. High fly ball, and as you said, Polka right to the back up against the bullpen fence, and half a step in front.
You were talking about Luke Weaver, success that he's had on the road. How about Yadier Molina? He's got 13 home runs. 11 of the 13 have been on the road. And his home run rate on the road is 1 every 9.65 at bats. That is the highest, by the way, in all of baseball. One of those odd stats, but he's had great numbers away from Busch Stadium. Jed Jerko at the plate. Tied his career high in walks with 3 last night. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Just like Bader. I don't know if you've seen this, but Bader has 6 home runs this year, all on the road, and he has 9 career home runs, all on the road.
Noticed in San Francisco, Jed Jerko, he's seeing the ball well. And usually when a guy at this level, as you know, Al, has 3 walks in a game, he's seeing the ball well, not expanding his zone, and he's been able to barrel up a lot of balls too.
That's usually a little indication if you're seeing the ball and it's going to go well.
And a strikeout there, and that's number 3 tonight. MLB.TV All-Star Sale is here. $39.99. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Your subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this sale. Paul DeYoung scored 3 runs last night. Hits it towards the shortstop position, but that's Moncada, the second baseman, that makes the play. 8-pitch inning for the lefty. Second, let's check in with Jim Hayes. Jimmy.
Dan, Tommy Pham was a late scratch yesterday with a left ankle injury. Tommy told me it's really his left foot. He says he's been getting treatment and the foot does feel better today, although there is still pain. Mike Matheny told me they thought Pham would be okay yesterday, and it wasn't the case, so they'll be keeping a close eye on Tommy tonight. Matheny says Jairo Munoz is ready to go just in case. Harrison Bader is still dealing with a sore right hamstring. Bader could be available off the bench tonight, according to Mike Matheny. Dan?
All right, Jimmy, thank you. Matt Davidson, 2 for his last 23. You look at Abreu and Davidson, Tim Anderson. I mean, they've got some guys right now. The Cardinals catching them at the right time in terms of their offense, just not hitting. And we know it can change quickly, but at least the numbers bear that out coming into this game.
And they just yesterday put one of their hottest sluggers, Garcia, another outfielder, put him on the disabled list, replacing him with another Garcia.
And that's pulled foul. Hector Rondon was DFA'd after the game last night. And they have added to their bullpen Jenmar Gomez, who we saw with the Phillies.
Yeah, a guy with a great arm, Rondon, but couldn't throw strikes.
It swung on and missed. The first strikeout for Luke Weaver. GMC leaderboard, the Cardinals strikeout leaders, as Al talked about earlier, may surprise some, but Luke Weaver leading the way with 90. Cardinals want to see him go deeper into games.
Yeah, that really was the surprise his last time out, to go a career high 8 innings, because he wasn't going much more than 5 innings. I'll have to ask him. You know, he gained about 10 pounds of muscle this offseason. He told me it was really hard to do. I wonder how much of that he's already lost.
Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Garcia, switch hitter. Could play all 3 outfield spots, play the infield as well. He's in right field tonight. Two strikes.
Change up.
And a good one. Held on to by Molina.
You gotta, in order to have a good changeup, and he does have one, you're going to have the same arm action as your fastball. See the grip, but watch the ball just start to dive, and that good movement down the way to a left-handed batter. You sell it with your arm action.
Narvaez, last 17 games, he has been a bright spot, hitting .442. Former Rule 5 pickup all the way back in 2013. Strike 1. Nothing in 2.
Fastball cutter. Now he's got him 0-2. Does he go to the changeup, or does he set it up with a pitch inside? Fastball away, looks like. This is where a lot of times they ask him to kind of elevate the ball. One of the better the Cardinals have. For years, you always say, keep the ball down, keep the ball down. But in this case, if you get a couple strikes on it, you can elevate the ball and get him to chase. You want the curveball? Keep it down.
Thought we saw more of that in spring training with Mike Maddox.
Up. Yeah, and it's kind of deceiving. You know what you want is up out of the strike zone, and that's why, you know, you have to be ahead in the count. Go back to the curveball.
And the 1-2. Ground ball that's hit to second baseman Colton Wong. 1-2-3 go the White Sox, and we head to the third. Coming up, Dexter Fowler, Colton Wong, and Matt Carpenter. Fowler with a grand slam last night. No score here in Chicago. First home run since May 6th. Fourth grand slam of his career, Dexter Fowler. And he did it from the right side of the plate. No doubt a relief for him. Kubota Power Stats, most home runs before the break. The Cardinals with 115, just two back of the 16 club. And there's ball one. Wong on deck, and then Matt Carpenter. That's pulled foul. We mentioned that the White Sox are having a tough year, to say the least. They are 30-61. That's tied for their worst start in franchise history with the 1948 Chicago White Sox. Had about in front. Anderson at short, and he makes the play. Arcia drive to success, and it's Colton Wong. 10 for his last 17. That's a .588 average. Homered here last night. Couple of doubles, a triple, a home run, driven in 4 and scored 4. This is after beginning the road trip 1 for 6. Playing every day, getting a rhythm, and playing well.
Before this road trip started, Colton was batting 105 in 34 road games. And on this trip, 458. And boy, has he been playing some excellent defense.
They've got the shift on here, but yet you have to respect the fact he can bunt so well. Had a bunt hit last night. 2 away.
We talked about Rodon and all the injuries he's had, the shoulder injuries and surgeries. But he had a point last year where he became the first pitcher in modern history, that since 1900, to strike out 11 or more batters in 4 innings or less. So you can see he can get on a roll. Good fastball, good slider.
Carpenter on the first pitch of the game, fly to deep left. One ball and one strike. Matt Carpenter, we mentioned 2 for 5 last night. He saw 33 pitches in the game. 33.
Always gives himself a chance, and that's why every now and then he'll say, okay, they know I take a lot of pitches, so they're going to give me a cookie on the first pitch and try to jump somebody.
And the 2-1. Down and in. Oh yeah, getting loose as the DH. Can't sit still.
I really enjoy him.
3-1 pitch. Catches the bottom of the zone. Full count. And it's a walk for Carpenter. He is well on his way to another 100-plus walk campaign.
And he has a high percentage when he's on base of crossing home plate.
Here's Tommy Pham, called out on strikes on a 3-2 pitch back in the first inning. Oh, 2.
Have the off day tomorrow, and then you have a 3-game series against the Reds. Then you have the All-Star break. Really just hope Tommy Pham has an enjoyable break and comes back with vengeance.
And he strikes out. 0 for 2 tonight with a pair of strikeouts, and that's 4. Stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app. Log in. Stream the Cardinals wherever you go. No score. Bottom of the 3rd. Tim Anderson, Charlie Tilson, and Yoan Moncada coming up. Anderson is second in stolen bases in the American League. 17th overall pick back in 2013.
See the 13 home runs, 21 steals.
Popped up to the right side, and Carpenter giving chase. Foul territory, and he does come up with it. Nice play by Matt Carpenter.
Very nice play. Another not easy play as you're contending with a potential hostile crowd. Well, 1977 jersey worn by that guy. That's about the way they played defense too. Remember, that's when they had shorts.
It's a good look, wasn't it?
Oh, oh boy. Bill Beck's wife designed that uniform.
I mean, this is a tough play because Carpenter is dealing with a ballpark he's not used to and a fan that should probably catch that ball. Carpenter did say something to the fan with a little smile on his face, as if to say, hey, you should have caught it.
Yeah, thanks for missing it.
Yeah. Tilson drove in both runs last night for the White Sox. Former second-round pick for the Cardinals in 2011.
They're just trying to stay healthy. Missed all last year, with a leg injury, and then his first year he got called up in his very first game. He tore a hamstring off the bone. And he had the 2 RBIs in last night's game for the White Sox.
I see that foul ball and I wonder, why did it take so long to put up netting? Over the dugouts, around the fan. I mean, geez.
Danny, how about when they're, how many years they play without even a screen in front of the dugouts for players?
Crazy. Third strikeout for Luke Weaver. Top of the lineup, and Moncada. Well, you think about that first inning and how it could have unfolded for the White Sox. It was an error on Molina on a pop-up that he missed. Moncada wound up at second base after a review of it. Looked like a out at first base, and then he runs into a double play. That turns out to be an 8-pitch inning for Luke Weaver. and older take home a limited edition bobblehead celebrating Adam Wainwright's 2017 Silver Slugger Award. It's courtesy of SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. And get yours at cardinals.com/promotions. Jose Martinez with a base hit to center, first time up. Reach base in 10 of his last 16 plate appearances.
To pull in the infield and shade to the outfield to the opposite side.
Grounds it to short, handled by Anderson. Up the middle, Anderson and Moncada have combined to commit 26 errors. They think, though, that combination is going to be really good before it's all said and done.
I was thinking, I have to check something.
One out, and here's Ozuna.
Thought for a minute they may have changed that scoring of that error on Anderson last night, but yeah, he had 12 and now he's got 13, so adds up to both of them. The second and shortstop have 13 errors apiece.
And the 2-0 pitch. Foul back. StatCast powered by AWS, the spray chart of Marcell Ozuna. This is more tonight. I can remember a team shifting against right-handed batters of the Cardinals.
Yeah.
You think about the first baseman with this play, Abreu. It's do or die to your right, and you've got to quickly get back to the bat going to your left.
You know, I've noticed that, Dan. I've never seen first basemen off as far as they play now. And obviously the spray chart's got to indicate a reason for that, but
3-2 pitch. Knocked down by Abreu. Pitcher covering. Rodon does a good job getting to the bag, and that's the other aspect. The pitcher's got to know that to make sure anything to the right side, you got to get over.
You always practice PIP, but you can immediately get over there. And Abreu, that was a tough hop for him and everything, but stayed with it, and his pitcher was right where he's supposed to be, and they did a nice job at both ends there.
Moncada back in the first inning, the only runner to reach second base for either team. And then he was doubled off. Cardinals have struck out 4 times in this game. They have 1 base hit. That was Jose Martinez in the first inning, and a walk by Carpenter in the third. The 0-1 pitch. 0-2. The 2-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 5. Jose Abreu, the All-Star, coming up second when we come back. Back in again with Jim.
Dan, you guys were talking about it. Colton Wong has been on an offensive binge. He's had multi-hit games in 4 of his previous 5 games. Over his last 15 games, he's raised his batting average from 186 to 221 heading into tonight's game. Last night, 4 hits for Colton, including a 2-run homer in the top of the 8th. You may have noticed Colton got cheated on his conga line celebration. He basically had to conga solo. Colton wasn't pleased with this. He told me, it's hard to do a conga line when you're up 13-2, so I gave the guys a little break on that. But I told them if it happens again, I'll break out the boxing gloves and take care of business. I guess the moral of the story, Dan, is nobody likes to conga alone.
That's a catchphrase. Jimmy, you ought to get that patented.
Which one, Dan? There was a few in there, I thought.
The conga part.
I like Colton saying he was going to take care of business.
Yeah, that's not bad either. You think he'd ever take that out on you?
I don't understand what you're asking.
I think you do.
You sound like Al right now.
I was wondering why Jimmy didn't join him in the conga line. Make it the 2 of them.
Well, a lot of times Jimmy's down there in the camera well too,
Yeah,
so
that's what I mean.
Jump right in.
The camera well is where broadcast journalism, regional cable journalism happens. The professional athletes are on the other side doing the conga line. Come on, guys.
All right, Jimmy. 1-2 the count on Sanchez. As an infield hit that was back in the first inning. Inside.
I've noticed tonight that Weaver is throwing inside. You really have to do that. You're not trying to hit somebody. You're just trying to keep them from diving across the plate or do different things, but keep them a little bit off guard. Plate 17 inches across. You can make it wider if you pitch on both sides of the plate. Hitter doesn't have to protect, 17 inches if you just throw on one side.
And a 3-2 into center. Sinking line drive and a base hit. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Missouri Baptist Medical Center. Doctors call it world-class medicine. You'll call it MoBap. By the $4.99 Jack's Spicy Chicken Club Combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Weaver's given up 2 hits, and both have been to Sanchez. Now Jose Abreu. He's headed to the All-Star game, and it was this date in 1950. All-Star game was held here in Chicago at Old Comiskey Park. National League won that game 4-3 in 14 innings. It was the first ever nationally televised All-Star game in 1950. Red Schoendienst, the famous home run off of Ted Gray. And it wasn't a walk-off, because the way the game ended, it was Joe DiMaggio grounding into a game-ending 5-4-3 double play. There were 11 players that participated in that 1950 All-Star game, and they would become Hall of Famers, including the great Red Schoendienst. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Abreu. Pops it up. Colton Wong with the catch. So 1950 here in the Windy City, Comiskey Park, this date. And Red Schoendienst, the home run. The National League would win it 4-3. First ever nationally televised All-Star game.
If I'm not mistaken, it was the first pinch hit home run in All-Star history, too.
There's Daniel Polka, grounded to first, and he's 0 for 1.
Just looking at Polka, looks like he's very far off home plate. God, he looked like he was going to set up outside. Sometimes guys get that way, and then they'll, dive into the ball so that you think they can't cover the outside part of the plate. And this guy's got a lot of power.
All kinds of room on that left side of the infield. Cardinals have a shift. Say it all the time. Boy, it's got to be tempting to drop down the bunt, extend the inning with 1 out, and all of a sudden you give Matt Davidson a chance. Now I understand Polka is a cleanup hitter. Ideally, you don't think about that, but this might be one of those spots. It's another close one between the Indians and the Reds tonight.
Oh yeah.
Cleveland leading 17-0.
The Reds made him a little mad last night. Scoring 7 runs in the 9th to win, 7-4.
We'll see Cincinnati on Friday night. Matt Harvey against Carlos Martinez.
They're playing much better baseball. I will go ahead and assume they're going to lose this one, but they're still 1 game over 500 since Jim Riggleman has taken over the Reds.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. And Polka strikes out, and that's 4 tonight for Weaver. Our Budweiser, what's on tap? Good seats still remaining, so come on out. This weekend, the Reds in town before the All-Star break is here. They started 3-15. Since that time, 2 games above the 500 mark. Jim Riggleman took over. Most of the National League, the runs scored since April 19th. We know they can hit. Second highest average in the National League, and we'll have the pregame show beginning at 6:30 Friday night. Game 2, it's Jack Flaherty and Luis Castillo, Miles Michaelis and Anthony DeSclafani on Sunday.
Like to go into the break with a 5-game winning streak. And you come back and you play 5 games against the first series against Chicago here in Chicago. And speaking of Chicago, they lost in extra innings to San Francisco this afternoon.
What did that game end? Was it 12, 13?
I think it was 13, I think.
13 innings. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Matt Davidson. 0-2. Fun giveaways this weekend at the ballpark. Megan Eberhardt does a tremendous job with the giveaways of the Cardinals. You got the Adam Wainwright bobblehead coming up, cowboy hat, all kinds of goodies, tote bag. Come on out. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Davidson. Back-to-back strikeouts from Luke Weaver. That's 5 tonight. Sends us to inning number 5. Jerko, DeYoung, and Fowler coming up.
Hats off for heroes, because no matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
No score, top of 5. Jed Jerko, Paul DeYoung, and Dexter Fowler. Miles Michaelis was sensational last night. Again, as Jerko hits it back to the pitcher for the out. The only starters in the National League with 10 or more wins and a 2.75 ERA. It's kind of a who's who. Aaron Nola, John Lester, Max Scherzer, Miles Michaelis.
Yeah. Gave up 3 hits last night. They were all 3 in succession, and that's when they scored their 2 runs. Those were the only 3 hits he gave up, and picked up his 10th victory. Where would we be without Miles?
Combined tonight, the starters, 10 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs between Michaelis and Weaver. It's hit out of play by DeYoung.
You know, went on the air talking about how the offense has really clicked here in July. How many times do we see a very good start by a Cardinal and go for naught? But hopefully we can get that consistent offense in the second half. Make it all interesting, wouldn't it?
It's always fun to be in contention and have a chance. That's all you ask for. Second wild card certainly would you allow you to do that. That almost hit DeYoung. But until you're completely out of it in the division, you think about the division race, especially with all the head-to-head left with the Cubs. The fact that you're done going on the road to Milwaukee, which could be a factor.
Who's going to pull the trigger at the trade deadline?
The strikeout of DeYoung, number 6 tonight. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks, and strikeout number 6.
Both these pitchers are capable of getting ahead in the count and then getting strikeouts on that fastball up in the zone. The chase pitch. And then Rendon, I've seen a lot of these shifts for the right-handed batters because he's got a very good, slider too, where they pull in the ball.
And Fowler taps it left side in a quick inning. 7 pitches. Bottom of 5 rolls in. Garcia leads it off. He struck out back in the 2nd inning. Luke Weaver with 5 strikeouts tonight. I find the history of shoeless Joe Jackson to be mysterious, incredible, interesting, as he was part of the 1919 Black Sox scandal. He had a lifetime average of .356, so that's 3rd best all time behind Ty Cobb and Rogers Hornsby. He got the nickname, by the way, playing in Class D at Greenville. Ryder was covering that team, and his shoes or spikes were not broken in, so he played in his socks. That's where you get shoeless Joe Jackson. And in the World Series, he had .375, drove in 6.
Didn't make an error.
And hit the only World Series home run.
He was illiterate, and I mean, there's to know a little bit about it, there's no reason why he's banned from baseball and should be in the Hall of Fame.
So there was 8 players that were on the take for that 1919 World Series of the White Sox, with Jackson being one of them. That's inside. He was promised $20,000. He received 5. And the next year he was still eligible. They did not rule on that group until later, and he put up just a monster season. And he did later apologize and saying, well, I wasn't really sure what I was getting into. And
I mean, he was illiterate. He didn't do anything wrong. I've even heard that he tried to give the money back, and also what he tried to do to protect his teammates, he said, I won't play. And the manager said, you got to play.
I've also heard, though, in reading books about it, that he did not give a full effort, is what they talked about. That the numbers were there, but the effort wasn't the same. I mean, It's obviously been a long, long time ago.
Well, that'd have to be defensively because, like you said, he hit so well.
I do find it fascinating, though, and where the numbers might have been if he had the chance to continue. Babe Ruth talked about that was the player that he idolized. He said, Joe Jackson was the guy that I looked up to as a hitter. Lead-off walk. You don't like to see that.
I knew it was a third all-time highest batting average. I thought it was 358, but 356 is pretty good, huh?
Either way you want to look at it.
And probably playing for less than $5,000 a year.
His contract was $3. Narvaez at the plate, and then it went up to either 5 or 6 for the 1920 season, and then he was done.
Judge Mountain saw Landis. Didn't he make the ruling?
Kennesaw Mountain Landis. Runner at first and nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. Now time is called as you can see Molina looking into the dugout. Garcia threat to steal. He's got 9.
9 for 9 too.
Good pitch. 0-2.
Fastball, a little tailing action. Spotted it well down and away. First time up, remember he hit a ground ball to second.
And he lines it on an 0-2 pitch into center field. Garcia to third and runners at the corners. A leadoff walk and then a single on an 0-2 pitch.
It's Facciotti's glove. Well, didn't come back over the middle of the plate pretty much. First to third.
That is the first man on either team to reach third base.
Anderson, you know, if you make a mistake, he can hit it out of the ballpark. Also, he runs well. Little pressure on the defense.
He's 1 for his last 13. And a ground ball in the hole. DeYoung, they'll get the lead out. Run scores, and it's 1-0 White Sox.
Yeah, going on contact and get the runner at second base, and with Anderson's speed, you can't get a double play, so they get on the scoreboard first.
Well, this could be a fun matchup here. Anderson at first base, 21 steals, second most in the American League. There's Charlie Tilson, struck out looking first time up.
Remember, most steals are against the pitcher.
Fouled back for strike 1.
It looks like he's filled out a little bit from
Sure
the days
does.
for the Cardinals.
Just thinking that. Here's the 0-1 pitch. 0-2. See the first 2 pitches, they have stayed away here with Tilson. Did that in the previous at bat as well.
You can see where Osuna, the left fielder, Tommy Pham, the shade, into the opposite field a little bit. Also, you're not afraid for him to hit a ball in the air. That's what you're probably trying to do, is get him to hit a ball in the air, because he doesn't have very much pop.
And the 0-2 pitch. Anderson leaning at first base, not running, and it's a ball. Two and two.
I was trying to rush a little bit, worrying about the runner.
Two-two pitch. Fly ball into right. Fowler with the catch. Anderson back to the bag at first. Sunday, September 9th, you can join gold medalist Jackie Joyner-Kersee for the Cardinals Care 6K to benefit area children. Enjoy an on-course slip and slide, finish on the field, dugout photos, a race shirt, and stay for the post-game race watch party. Register now, cardinals.com/6K. And again, that's the 9th of September. Little surprised they haven't had Anderson attempt a stolen base.
I think the reputation of Yachty has something to do with it.
Clearly, they're probably getting pretty good times from Weaver to the plate.
That was something I asked about their pitcher, and he's about 1.5. So the Cardinals have got a good jump and want to steal off of him. They just haven't got on base.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. Instead, a check again on Anderson.
Talked about how Weaver's a good athlete, quick feet, quick enough to the plate where they're not going to, unless they don't get a really good jump, they're not going to go.
And there's 2 strikes on Moncada. Walked back in the first and then was part of a double play and a line out to left, and an easy double play started by Marcell Ozuna.
Still am surprised that they haven't run here. Worst case scenario, we've got your leadoff man leading off.
Exactly. And the 1-2 pitch. Luke Weaver. It's even a shorter lead by Anderson this time at first.
I noticed that too, and made me think that he was going to go.
Lull you into thinking he's
Sure.
one way and not taking second. A changeup in the dirt.
Yeah, good job by Yachty there, and ball bounced so far in front of the plate.
The 2-2 pitch to Moncada. And he struck him out. A called third strike. Leadoff walk comes back to bite the Cardinals in Weaver. It's 1-0. Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. He's getting loose. Martinez due up fourth in this inning. Here's Colton Wong, grounded out to second. It's good to see that not only is Wong getting a chance to play every day, but rightfully so, doing it against left-handed pitching. And a couple of hits again against a lefty last night. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Including the home run against the lefty.
The 1-1 pitch, taken low.
You know, it seemed like at times Mike Matheny would put out a lineup saying, okay, I'll sacrifice defense for offense. But it seems like on this road trip he's saying, I'm going to go with the best defensive team. And guys like Wong have really responded. Got good pitching. What makes good pitching is good defense. And he's got a lineup that's capable of hitting.
3-2. And Wong hits it the other way. Sinking liner, but it's caught. Catch baseball's biggest stars for an unforgettable show from the nation's capital. MLB All-Star Game, July 17th. See it on Fox or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. This date, 1994, Ozzie Smith and the Cardinals beat the Rockies 8-1. You say, well, what's the big deal? The Wizard moves into the top spot on the all-time list for assists by a shortstop. And it's appropriate to bring it up tonight because he passed former White Sox great Luis Aparicio. He'd end his career with 8,375 assists.
It doesn't look like there's any active player that would threaten that record.
And Carpenter smokes it into the gap in right center. And that ball is down. One hops off the wall. Carpenter to second base with a 1-out double. Aparicio was a 10-time All-Star, won 9 Gold Gloves, and for 9 straight years led the American League in stolen bases.
I was watching Charlie Tilson, center fielder, had a good jump on this. Good speed and comes up a little short, but got to appreciate that effort. Another double for Carpenter. Just 27th double. Remember when he had 55 a couple years ago to break the franchise record and Stan Musial's?
And now Tommy Pham.
There's somebody that needs to get going. It's Tommy. That's what I'm saying. Hope he can just have a good little push here at the end. Had a good, enjoyable, all-star break, and then just come back and be a terror. Played like he did last year.
Snaps a streak of 8 in a row, that double. Pham over 2 with a pair of strikeouts, but ahead in the count here, 2 balls and no strikes.
It's only the second hit for the Cardinals, third base runner. The first hit was by Martinez back in the first inning.
First time the Cardinals have had a base runner at second base all night. See, third time through a lineup. Normally it's the other way.
Yeah. Well, it's only his 7th start of the year. He started on the disabled list, recovering from his shoulder surgery of a year ago. So probably not going real deep into games.
Three and 1 the count on Tommy Pham. Three and 2.
Rodon really not even paying any attention to Carpenter out there at second base.
Inside corner. And a strikeout of Tommy Pham. Very similar pitch to the 3-2 that he saw back in the first inning.
Struck out 3 times, caught looking twice.
You got to wonder how careful the White Sox will be here with Martinez swinging a hot bat. He's grounded to short. He is singled to center. You do have first base open. And then deal with Ozuna, who's had issues.
Wow,
and I bet that's what they're talking about here.
Exactly. And of course, the fact, too, that Martinez leads the major leagues in hits with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. He got another one of those hits last night, but second in this situation in batting average at .513. May watch them kind of try to let Martinez get himself out. They fall behind the count. They put him on.
I mean, this is the guy right now that can beat you.
Yep.
Room on the right side of the infield. And ball 1.
Slider in the dirt.
You mentioned how Pham needs to get going, and really there's 4 guys in my mind you think about. Carpenter has done that. He's gotten going. Dexter Fowler and Marcell Ozuna. I mean, Wong is starting to hit.
Yep. And you're not asking any of those guys to do something that they're not capable.
Two and 1.
A little surprised at that one, aren't you?
Yes.
He was ready for it. Had a good rip at it. Just didn't center it. see that 5.13 average. 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Boy, outstanding.
Two and two. And the next two, Martinez in the dirt, 3 and 2.
Change up or slider. But I'm thinking 3-2.
And he wins that battle on a 3-2 pitch. Cardinals strand a runner. Their third of the night. We're midway through 6. 1-0. More on the right-hander. Let's check in with Jim.
Yeah, he won't pitch in the All-Star game as he will start for the Cardinals on Sunday. We had Michaelis on the pregame show. I had a chance to ask him if 10 wins to this point and being named to the National League All-Star team surpassed his expectations for his return to Major League Baseball. He told me at this point I may have surprised myself a little bit, although it may have been one of my wildest dreams. Dan, you know this. Miles is great to talk to because you just don't know what he's going to tell you. He is apparently growing out his full mustache and beard right now. And he told me on the pregame show this: I'm letting everything come in at once, and once I have a full canvas, I'll paint and get artsy with it. Miles Michaelis, a real treat.
Wait a minute. Jimmy, you still there?
Yes, Dan.
He's going to paint and get artsy with it.
In regard to his facial hair. That's his words, not mine. Again, the whole thing is you don't know what he's going to tell you. But I asked him, you know, he had that glorious mustache. And he shaved it.
Right.
Because he said it didn't have the magic that he anticipated. So now he's letting everything grow out at once, as he put it. And once I have a full canvas, talking about his facial hair, I'll paint and get artsy. I'm assuming with the trimming, Dan.
Yeah. All right, Jimmy, thank you. Dustin Hermanson used to call that facial art.
Facial art. Yeah, barber. He could do it. I talked to him. I said, wearing 39, you got to go to Fu Manchu. And he liked the idea, but he says, I don't have the capabilities to let my mustache grow at the corners. There's a bald spot. So hopefully we'll correct that.
Well, you and the Cat have done a lot of research on this.
It's very important.
It's good stuff. Jose Abreu after the ground out by Sanchez. And strike one. So Weaver pitching into the sixth. He has struck out 6. He's given up 3 hits and 1 run.
Dan, I don't know how much research Al had to do. He's already in the Mustache Hall of Fame. He knows his stuff.
Now that is a great point, Jim, and you are officially in that Hall of Fame, are you not, Al?
Dan, I would be afraid to tell you all the Hall of Fames I'm in.
But that one you are in.
There is a mustache thing every year, and I get a lot of people wanting me to join it. I have finished second.
To whom? Raleigh Fingers, maybe?
No, you can understand if it was Raleigh Fingers. I'm trying to think who it was, but it was a silly little mustache. I mean, nothing spectacular to it at all.
Are you in a Mustache Hall of Fame?
To be honest with you, I'm not
question.
sure.
Oh, you don't know?
I don't know. That's
okay.
right.
Into right center. Pham on the run and makes the catch. Because that would be a night that your family in June would be very proud of. Get together, get dressed up, get inducted into that Hall of Fame. That would mean a lot to the Raboski family. I know that. You and Dustin Hermanson, who, by the way, finished up his career with the White Sox, would have interesting conversations over the years. You appreciated the work that he put into the facial art.
Oh, sure.
I'm not sure Vern Rapp did, but and there's a strike. Some of your brethren.
Last time I was on a river cruise down in Europe.
Yeah.
And I was on for a couple weeks, and some people knew who I was. And the very last day, our waiter, I had almost same waiter for 2 weeks. He goes, "I know who you are. I know who you are. You're that chopper guy, American chopper."
It's got the bird on the bat logo. Presented by Brown and Crouppen. The cowboy hat. Cardinals.com/promotions.
Terry Croupen's all excited about that day and that giveaway. We appreciate it.
There's Marcell Ozuna.
It's the last time he's hit a home run.
And that's a foul ball. Ozuna's hurt. Drops his bat.
Holding his wrist or no, back of his leg. Trying to say he's okay. You know, sometimes you'll get a
and he says he's all right.
Sometimes something will grab you and kind of change positions and it's okay. But keep an eye on it.
Now, the one thing I did take away from Jim's interview, many things with Miles Mikolas, but Jim conducted a great interview on the pregame show outside of the hair and facial features and what may happen. But Miles is really excited to go to the All-Star game. I told Jim last night it's, as he mentioned in the report, a dream come true, beyond his wildest imagination. And he's excited to represent the Cardinals. I mean, it really is a great story.
It sure is.
Ozuna running up the line and can't beat it out, but running fairly well. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri.
I was watching on TV. You were there when he made his first start for the Cardinals in spring training. And we're all going, because I was really intrigued with it. I mean, I thought that this could be a really good story. You go over there, you learn how to pitch, how to be efficient, and everything. And then that first start, go, wow. Who's getting fired over this one?
Nice play. Sanchez to Abreu to rob Yadier Molina.
Made a couple plays in yesterday's ball game that you kind of took note that looks like he might be a pretty good fielder. That plays any league, doesn't it?
Man, that's a good play.
See why Rodon was 2004 was the third pick in the country. Coming off the shoulder surgery of a year ago. Came up in 2015, was 9-game winner then. You know, in a partial season.
He's got 10 ground ball outs today and he struck out 7.
Right. I mean, he's just going out there just like free and easy and controlling the strike zone.
That's it out of play. Mike Myers has been throwing in the Cardinals pen. Jerko trying to extend the inning to DeYoung.
This is why baseball is so unique and so special. You can have a team that's not very good, rebuilding like the White Sox. On any given day, you might have somebody go out there and put in a phenomenal performance. A lot of the other sports, the best team's always going to win, but not always in baseball.
Your pitcher can dominate.
He can dominate. It's like Tim McCarvey used to say about Bob Gibson. He said, Bob was the luckiest guy. Every time he pitched, the other team was in a slump.
Well, that's frustrating there. And Jerko, his reaction up the line, not happy, hitting into the shift. There was Moncada, the second baseman, with the play. Weaver, the BJC Healthcare difference maker. That play, we thought he was out. Replay showed he probably was, but didn't go the Cardinals' way. And then all of a sudden, this turns into a double play. 21 pitches, could not get an out. Then he had 2 pitches to get 3 outs. That was in the first inning. And the only blemish tonight for Luke Weaver was back in the 5th inning. A leadoff walk to Garcia. He came around to score. And that is the difference this far tonight. Mike Myers is your new pitcher in to face Matt Davidson, who is 0 for 2. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Chevy called the pin. Mike Myers taking over 26th time, but I think we've seen the last few weeks he's kind of figured it out, got his psyche back to where he was in spring training. Found a little mechanical glitch in his windup, and his velocity is back up to 98 and above. So he's got that little attitude again. You know, when he was as impressive, if not the most impressive pitcher for the Cardinals in spring training this year. About the job he did on Sunday and spraying the bases loaded.
He's done that a couple of times this year now. White Sox 4 and 5 hitters are 0 for 6, 4 strikeouts tonight. Here's Garcia. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. The crowd tonight a little bigger than last night. 26,319. 26319.
The White Sox fans some credit, staying with their rebuilding plan. And we were both surprised with the crowd last night. As you said, even a little bigger tonight.
Cardinal fans certainly helping that crowd total,
which they always do. But
2-1 pitch. A little bit low, 3-1. Juan Minaya getting loose for the White Sox, a right-hander in their bullpen. And the 3-2 pitch by Myers. Struck him out, comes back to get him. The Phillips 66 ticket vouchers are back. Receive 50% off on tickets. Just head to Phillips 66 or Cardinals.com/Phillips 66. It's gotten to the point I really look forward to watching Myers come in a game. It's been a shutdown type reliever.
Yeah, he just, as I said, he just has that attitude now that he just goes right after hitters. As a starter, you know, you're out there trying to conserve and go deep into a game, but as a short inning guy, just come and let it fly. And he's kind of doing a good job now when he comes in with the runners on base. Kind of taking that Seth Maness, you know, Matt Bowman role.
One ball and one strike. Narvaez at the plate. Single to center on an 0-2 pitch back in the 5th. And where's that pitch?
Wow. Got plenty of the plate.
And the 2-1. 2-2. Cardinals have DeYoung, Fowler, and Wong due up. Looking ahead to the 8th inning. 1-0 our score.
These young relievers come out of the bullpen knowing that Luke Gregerson is here. He's from Chicago area, so he wanted to see friends, but he appears that he'll be activated quite soon.
The 2-2 pitch, and it's taken high. Three-two hit the other way, and a base hit that drops in front of Marcell Ozuna.
Navarre's second hit tonight. Looks like he is a better offensive player than a defensive catcher. And you don't walk anybody. Got the ball up a little bit, so he's elevated it over the infield. He gets the second hit. 2 for 3 tonight.
Here's Tim Anderson. His walk-up song is the theme to Frozen.
Okay.
Seen that movie no fewer than at least 137 times. Really is a classic, Al, at the old McLaughlin house.
I would be lying if I said I haven't seen it too.
You've seen it too.
I've seen it.
Now, did you see it with your grandkids or did you see it on your own?
Grandkids.
And the 1-1 hit into the corner. Dug out by Ozuna. Gonna wave him in. Relay to the plate. Isn't in time, and it's 2-0.
this ball was hit extremely hard. Just buggy whips it. See the young catcher, the guy is coming all the way around, going home. Hits the cutoff man a little bit low, and that's really doesn't help out the relay throw. A weak throw, you know, short high. You're not getting that chest high to where DeYoung could kind of turn and fire it.
Tilson, a little flare into shallow right center that drops in. 3-0. As Anderson will score. Charlie Tilson has driven in 3 in the series.
Driven in 3 in the series and only 11 on the year, but just really chemically active roster coming off the injuries he's had last 2 years.
Moncada at the plate. He's over 2 with a walk and a strikeout. And a pick off to first. Got him. They get Tilson at first base. No argument from Charlie Tilson or the White Sox, at least for the moment. Of his career, 3-0 our score as we move to the 8th inning. There's a look at your game summary. Luke Weaver, 6 innings. Carpenter 1 for 2. Rondon and Anderson part of the story tonight. And a strike to Paul DeYoung. is grounded into the shift and struck out. And a fly ball that may drop, and it will. It's a base hit for DeYoung. And the leadoff man is aboard.
7-game hitting streak for Paul DeYoung. He's had a couple of games where he got base hits before he got hurt, and he's got a base hit in every game since he's come back to the active roster.
Great effort by Garcia, came up short, and now Dexter Fowler.
They scored quickly. Why can't the Cardinals?
Fowler is 0 for 2. Grounded to short, grounded to third. And that's a ball down and in.
Talked to Dexter about his new baby daughter. Said everybody's doing fine. Said baby's growing already.
Taps it back to the pitcher. And Fowler is safe at first, but they do get the lead man. They have a tote bag coming up. Also the hooded towel for the kids. And that's coming up on Sunday. You don't want to miss it. There's the tote bag. And for the little ones, wrap them up with the Fredbird towel. Cardinals.com/promotions. You got back-to-back lefties, and if they thought about going to the pen, potentially their best option is the man on the mound. And a strike to Colton Wong.
Mentioned only his 7th start. Came in averaging right at 6 innings, so he's having a great start for the White Sox.
0-2. And that was right at Rick Horton, and it's in their booth. He had a similar play, very close to that last night. He came up short, and Ricky did not come up with that one tonight.
Oh boy, I wouldn't be showing my face after that effort.
Wow. Here's a ground ball, and it's off the glove of Moncada and into shallow center field. And runners at first and third. Moncada with an error, and that's 14, and that's a major league high among second basemen, the 14 errors, and it extends the inning now to Matt Carpenter, what could have been a potential double play.
And it brings up potential tying run to the plate, so very costly. See if the Cardinals can't capitalize on it. Came up a little bit, hit him like in the pinky finger, the glove. Talked about it. That's 27 errors between the shortstop and second baseman now.
Matt Carpenter leads the Cardinals in home runs with 17. 101 pitches. You wonder if he's running on fumes right now, and if so, can he still locate? He represents the tying run. Since May 1st, the numbers piling up, the positive direction for Carpenter.
And actually, that's 2 weeks before he took off.
3-0, Tommy Pham at the on-deck circle.
Sure, this lefty likes the fact that his manager's letting him stay out there and not turning over to somebody else, trying to give him a chance to get out of the inning.
Bases loaded.
And I'm much
Manaya
longer.
and Soria had been throwing in the White Sox bullpen a pair of right-handers.
You love that fact, giving you an opportunity, but you can't go much longer because you don't want him. He's had too good a night to let it get ruined.
Juan Manaya coming on when we come back. Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Ford, going further so you can. Not happy.
Okay.
7 1/3 and a chance at a win. Bases are loaded now for Manaya. Tommy Pham at the plate.
One thing to look at Manaya is 17 innings, 17 walks. Opponents are batting 191 against him. Been very good of late, but
Tommy Pham, a tough night. He struck out 3 times. Cardinals hit a grand slam last night. That was Dexter Fowler. And the numbers on Juan Manaya in our Chevy called to the pen.
you could erase that tough night with one swing of the bat, though, couldn't you?
Got Martinez at the on-deck circle. And the 1-1. Out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Pumping fastballs at him.
Two outs.
All fastballs until the changeup. Good downward action. This could be it with Jose Martinez coming in.
So be Soria to face Jose Martinez with the bases loaded. Soria into the ball game to face one of the hottest hitters right now in baseball, and Jose Martinez. Tonight, Cardinal DH is 1 for 3, nowhere to put him.
216 career saves for Soria.
The Cardinals with men on base tonight, 0 for 7, 4 strikeouts. Oh, and 2.
34 years of age. Great closing years with Kansas City. Had a blown save over the weekend against Houston. It was the first blown save since he had one in St. Louis earlier this year.
Favor of the Chicago White Sox. Our Chevy called to the pen. Righties hitting just at .099 against this hard-throwing right-hander. The lefties 231.
These all National League rookie pitchers with ERA, opponent's average against. Tied for fourth in appearances is 42nd. 62% ground ball percentage.
Here's Yoan Moncada. 101 on the gun, no big deal anymore, huh?
No. What's wrong? Sore arm? Got the highest average velocity in the big leagues with his two-seamer, sinker, and four-seam fastball. .41% of his pitches are over 100 miles an hour.
Here's a 1-1. The 2-1 pitch to Moncada, who's 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Hit out of play. Sanchez to follow, and then Abreu.
It's hard to see throws, and as young as he is, well, he does have pretty good control.
Avilan and Gomez are up, even though Soria has been used in that closer's role for the White Sox. And a base hit. That will go all the way to the wall, and Moncada on his way to third. A leadoff triple.
They do have some speed on this club, don't they?
Some speed on this pitch at 102, but he turned it around.
Down and in. Look at Yachty's glove. He wanted it away. Gets all the way to the wall, and he can fly. It's his fifth triple.
And the White Sox have 28 triples, and that leads all of baseball. Infield is drawn in, and here's Sanchez.
He's got 9 triples.
He's your leader in the American League.
Not bad with runners in scoring position, 339.
He's 2 for 3 tonight. Infield hit and a single to center field. Good play by Molina.
Oh, absolutely. That slider, watch the ball hit the dirt, and a lot of times he hits the dirt spinning one way and kicks back the other way.
Well, he's got the ability to get out of this inning because of the strikeout.
Absolutely.
Strikes out Sanchez, and now Abreu. who has lined out, popped out, and flied out. It's now 9 strikeouts in the White Sox lineup.
This might be a good little battle right here, but
and there's strike 1. And a high chopper, no play for Hicks. And Carpenter can't feel his left hand. And coming down into the ground in the plate was Moncada. I think he slid on top of the bat. Not sure, but I think that's what may have happened.
high hopper right there, and he had slipped right on top of that bat. Can't feel good.
So Abreu picks up the RBI, now 4-0 White Sox. And here's Daniel Polka, who's 0 for 3.
You can see that high chopper. Jordan looked at home plate, knew he didn't have a play there, and then threw a BB over to Carpenter. Lucky he caught it, you know, didn't get handcuffed, you know.
See Carpenter after he caught it kind of look back
and
at
it's
him.
like, come on, dude. I'm on your side.
Here's a 2-0 pitch. 2-1. So here it is. Whoa.
It's tough enough to catch it 60 feet 6 inches, but not 40.
And the slider tap foul, and it's 2-2. Cardinals will have Ozuna, Molina, and Jerko coming up, trailing now by 4.
Yeah, threw those couple pitches 105 when he got upset one game, and the first ball to this hitter was 104.
And a strikeout for Jordan Hicks. The triple, though, by Moncada, brought in by Abreu. 4-0. To left field now for the Chicago White Sox. Adam Engel is in center. Cardinals down by 4 as we start play here in the 9th. Marcell Ozuna 0 for 3 with a strikeout, pair of groundouts.
Soria in there, got the final out in the 8th, trying to pick up his 13th save.
Only had 1 in his last 19 days. Abreu giving chase in foul territory, and it'll be Garcia with the catch. White Sox half of the 7th, the Nissan drives of the game. This would make it a 2-0 White Sox lead. Charlie Tilson added to that to make it 3-0. And then last inning, Abreu with the high chopper to Hicks. Run scored to make it 4-0. The Nissan drives of the game. Molina hit one to the wall and left, struck out and grounded out. He was robbed down at third base. Al mentioned the 200+ saves by Soria. He was a good one for a long time with Kansas City.
Yes, he was. And even with a team that's rebuilding, you're not going to have that many leads, but when you have one, you better have a good closer to close it out. Nothing can be more demoralizing to a ball club than to battle 7, 8 innings, get a lead, and then have it disappear because you don't have a quality closer.
As you talked about, the starting pitcher can change the complexion, the look of a series. Last night, the Cardinals 14 runs, and tonight they're being shut out. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Just 3 hits. Cardinals tonight, and one of those came in the first inning.
Take a look at our Budweiser play of the game. Pickoff number 50 in his career for Yadier Molina. And the first this season to get Charlie Tilson.
Charlie had 46 steals in the Cardinals Springfield team, AA, a couple years ago.
1-2, a base hit into center.
How he uses those instincts and knowledge of how to work a pitcher really works really well. Idea of what he's going to see as a hitter.
Now Jerko with the runner at first. The foul ball for strike 1.
Soria had 43, 42 save seasons with Kansas City. Never know, get a couple base runners, put some pressure on them.
DeYoung at the on-deck circle, and the 0-2 pitch. 1-2. The 2-2 pitch now to Jed Jerko. And the Cardinals down to their final out. Cardinals have struck out 10 times tonight.
A wicked slider.
And now Paul DeYoung, who is 1 for 3. The blue base hit to right field.
Ball's hit safely in every game since coming off the DL.
One and two. Been chasing that pitch up and in all night.
Yeah, it's right in on the hands. That just sets up for that slider away. Or do you go out there and thinking it's going to be away and he runs one back inside and you jam yourself?
Two and two the count.
Good job to lay off that one. No slider, just outside, but you throw 3 in a row, you run the risk of hanging one.
And he walked him.
Good at bat. Dan, you look at Dexter Fowler, what he's done against Chicago this year. The White Sox and the Cubs, it's almost more than half his, it seems like it's more than half of his production. Half of his home runs and more than half of his RBIs have come against Chicago teams. So
Two on, 2 outs. Fowler is 0 for 3 tonight. Shift is on. Strike one.
Dexter, in 11 games against Chicago teams, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. 59 games against everybody else, 3 home runs and 14 RBIs. Strike one more time.
One ball and 2 strikes.
Somehow, some way, somehow extend it. Five pitches thrown by Soria.
Fowler breaks his bat but pulls it foul. The 2-2 pitch. There's nobody up and throwing right now in the pen for the White Sox, and the pitch count is up to 27.
Yeah, they're just coming out of the low ground dugout now to get to the mound. Soria's 34 now, too.
Fowler pops it up left side, and this will do it. White Sox take game 2. It's a split in the series and a final of 4-0.
Yeah, the Cardinals have a winning trip, but you feel like you left something on the table not getting this win.